do. And one of them is a celebrity chef. She is also becoming a good friend of mine. Her name is Miss Chef Grace Ramirez. I had the honor of being at a book launch last week at the UN, which she's a contributor chef to, that has 75, a cookbook for the planet and the people. I would encourage everybody to look at it, the UN cookbook. And she's also written a lot of other books and is really thinking about food and hope and nutrition and how we build community. So with that, I'll invite Chef Grace Ramirez. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Chef Grace Ramirez, and thank you guys for having me. And when Soya said there's an International Day of Hope, I said I need to be part of it. Just to share a little bit about my journey, I've been hopeless most of my life. My father died when I was a year old. I have a mother that, I think when your spouse passes away on a very tragic way on Christmas Eve, and you have a 1-year-old, that can trigger a lot of trauma. And thank God for my grandparents. My mom's very narcissistic. We've healed our relationship. It's all good now. But it took a very long time for me to see that she saw me and that she cared for me and that I had value just for being me. I think that I owe my hope at an early stage for my grandparents, because I was their sunshine, their sunflowers. So I grew up feeling pretty hopeless. And it was a very daunting feeling that I had growing up, but then I had these cheerleaders of grandparents, like always cheering for me and always saying, "You are the sun," but I didn't feel like the sun because my mom barely saw me. And she married 4 times, almost 6, and I grew up having multiple stepdads that definitely didn't see me. So I had to go through a lot, and I think what she did was like, go to therapy, child, and figure it out, because I'm trying to figure it out by myself, which I'm really grateful she did that. But I want to talk specifically about a moment that changed everything for me. And my grandmother had passed, and she was my sun, she was my North Star, and I separated from my husband of 10 years. And I had just started cooking. I've been a TV producer, director, turned chef to turned TV personality, and the cookbooks and the shows and the this and the that. I think that I became an overachiever because I wanted her to see me. I was constantly just, please see me. Is this enough? It was never enough. Now it's enough because it's done for me, but it was never enough because I was constantly just trying to prove myself. And I can go through the whole titles, and yes, the latest collaboration with the UN and the world's best chef, and I'm in the cover of the book with like the world's best chefs, and I'm the only Latina there, so that's kind of a big deal. And I can talk about how I am the first person to have 85 food halls across the country, where I'm the first Latina to ever have proper representation across the country in universities, and I'm part of the Chef Council of New York City, where we're trying to bring more cultural appropriate foods into the school system. But we're here to talk about hope. When I went into a severe depression, when my grandmother died and I separated from my husband, I was hopeless again, and I was like, okay, I need to snap out of it. But how? People talk about how do you snap out of it, and Maria had happened, and I had heard about this organization called World Central Kitchen, led by Chef Jose Andres, and we're a chef relief team. So we go out and give food after disasters. And I said, I need to go volunteer, but I didn't know Jose, I didn't know how to start. And I showed up like I always do when I want something at this conference where Chef Sam Cass, he's the chef for the former Obama administration, and Jose was supposed to speak there. And Jose didn't show up because he was in Puerto Rico. And I said to Sam, how can I get to Jose? He goes, show up in Puerto Rico. And I did. And I started searching for Jose, and I just wanted to cook because I was feeling so hopeless that I said, at least if I'll cook for people that have nothing, then I'll feel more hopeful. And that was my thinking. And I went there saying, you know, and I went just trying to offer my skills. And the people from Puerto Rico showed me the greatest lesson that I can apply now to my life. They were so hopeful. They were like, we have no water, it doesn't matter, we have a roof. We have no roof, it doesn't matter, we have, fire. We have no fire, we have no roof, we have water. We have no roof, we have no water, we have coquito. I was like, wow, they're always positive, always focusing on what they do have instead of what they don't have. Plus they have faith. And they believe that the best is yet to come, somehow. And to me at that time, I was like, wow, they have this strong belief that the best is yet to come. And as cliche as it sounds, they're always focusing on the glass being half full instead of half empty. And I was like, here I am feeling pretty miserable about my life. But if I focus on the things that I do have, I can become more hopeful. And I think when we talk about hope, we see this, it's like when we talk about happiness and when we talk about being happy, we're always thinking about this long goal end game. But hope is about each moment and focusing on what it is good in this moment and focusing on appreciating the things that we do have in this moment. And sometimes it's very hard to do, I'm not gonna lie. Especially when we're in deep depression or, when it's something chemical is going on. So I realized I was feeling pretty hopeful after Puerto Rico, but I needed to do something else, which was like lock myself in a meditation retreat, which my mom, she locked herself in a meditation retreat and became a meditation teacher. So I was like, I need to heal this relationship with my mother. I think this is at the core of it. But then I also realized I needed to find an internal place of peace and hope within myself so I can give that hope to the world. And I think that moment in Puerto Rico changed everything, and then I became really focused on I cannot give out hope to the world if I'm not feeling hopeful myself. So that's my story. Thank you for having me. Bye.